Okay, Mick, here it is, the big dryer that we've been talking about. This is it all set up at our facility before we pack it up. And I just want to show you, even though there's an operation manual, I just want to show you what you need to do for this very, very quickly, because we don't have an actual instructional video for this. So after you get it all assembled, and let me just start by saying, you'll read the instructions, I think they're fairly clear, but you're going to build the back first. So there's these strips down at the bottom that the panels fit in, and then in the corners you'll start putting it together. So you start from the back, then you put the top piece on, the rear blower, make sure it's the one that's marked rear blower. Then you'll wind up building the side panels, you'll come forward and build the front panels, and then you'll put the door on. And then there is insulation that you're going to put on the top. You'll see it in pieces, and you'll see where they're marked, where they should go, and read the manual. You'll see how that is supposed to fit up there. And then there's this top piece that goes across the top as more of a decorative piece. So that's the order in which you assemble it. This was something fun. Let me turn the light on. To turn the light on, all you do is press the button that says, sorry, I didn't put the power on. First you have to press the power. That's the first thing that you always have to do. And I should mention while we're at it that you've got 3 electrical lines here, and they all need to be plugged in order for this to operate. Now, one is a standard, our standard 115. We're going to have a transformer put on here so that you can operate this portion of it. Then you have 2, and I have them plugged over here. We have a 30 amp and we have a 50 amp service, and you're going to need both of those, and they all must be plugged in for this to operate. So the first thing you do is you press the power button. It goes through a welcome screen, and then it says Morantz on it, and it'll bring you to this screen, which is going to let you know right now that the power is on. That's the PWR. The humidity level it's reading right now is 47%. This is the time that it's set to run for. Now this can run for up to 24 hours. 4 hours, as you know, is the minimum that we recommend for electronics drying. It can dry longer, and I do tell my clients, if you have the time, let it run longer. The set point is 135 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where you want to keep it set. We're going to leave it there for you. But if you ever have to change the time or the set point, the way to do that is to press this set button in, and you're going to see those 2 start blinking. Now you can turn the dial. So if I want this to be 5 hours, we're going to turn that to 5. And if I want this to be 140 degrees, which would be the maximum we would set it at, it's 140. I do nothing at that point. I let it stop blinking, and it sets itself, and then it's done. If I want to turn it back to 135, I just press the set. As long as it's blinking, I can turn this, and then I just let it go. Now, if you want this to read in Celsius, there's a way we can set it to do that, but you know most of my instructions are in Fahrenheit, so we've left it this way. To turn the actual heater on, and I'm not going to do that right now, then all we would do is press this on button. It's just going to be very loud for this video. Okay, here's your interior light. Now I want to show you what we did here. We wanted to take some pictures and do something for a little photo shoot. Just how big is the new Morantz Drye Rite XL? Big enough where we can fit our forklift into it. So that's pretty big. We also can fit in at least 20 wheelchairs in here. Probably more like 25 to 30, depending on how you put them in there. And I'll just show you some of the features on the interior. Here's your light. Now we're not going to be shipping this with the light bulb, so you'll have to put that in. Here is your ozone. That'll be packed separately, but that's where you go ahead and you plug in your ozone. Okay, and up here on the top, so you've got your front panel and you have your back panel back here. This is where your blowers are, and also your infrared. Now, let me show you that. So we're going to exit, go back to the panel over here. Okay, so that's your light. This is your ozone. Now, all you have to do is press it on and press it off. These two have nothing to do with the timer. So if it's going to time out, all it's going to do is shut the blowers off. It's not going to power down, and it's not going to shut your light or your ozone off. So if you have those pressed in, it's going to keep running. So that's a manual shut-off. Make sure that anybody who's using the ozone understands that things must be dry in there before you ozone it, or you run the risk of bleaching the item. Okay, once you put your power on, and I'm going to do that now, so we turn it on, you make sure your doors are shut, then it's time to hit infrared boost. Now this is also not on the timer. This is on its own, and if you're going to let it sit overnight and it's going to time out, your infrared is going to still keep running. So it's important to remember, if you're not using it, to manually shut it off. I would use this most of the time. If you're turning your heater on, this is really going to give it that extra boost of heat, and it's going to heat up quicker. So I would turn that on right away. Okay. Now we see a temperature reading here, so 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and as this starts to heat up, that actual temperature will slowly make its way towards our set point. The humidity level will start to go down. Okay, if you need to stop your system before it times out, first thing you want to do is turn your infrared boost off, and then you can go ahead and you can press the on-off button. It will shut down, but there is a 2-minute cool-down time before it will actually shut off. So that will run down to 0, and we will still have power on. That will remain on, but the blowers will go off. Okay, so that is an overview of your system. Now, okay, when it does time out, I just wanted to show you, this is the way it'll flash that the cycle's complete. And you can see that the power button is still on and the light button is still on, because I have the light on in there. When the power button's on, set and the on-off button are always illuminated. Okay, one other thing I really wanted to show you and explain was that down here at the bottom, like, our warehouse floor is not level. So we do have a few areas where heat is escaping. And the best thing that you can do is you could get some caulking and put that down. You could get some tape that's heat resistant and you could put that down. Something on the bottom to help keep the heat in. If you also find that there is a problem not getting up to temperature, what we've done in our next design of this is we've made these panels so now we could fit another insulated panel over each of these panels, and that will keep the heat in. I don't think it's going to be as big of an issue for you because your temperatures are generally warmer, and I think the warehouses that these will be kept in generally will not be as cold as it is here, but nevertheless, it's something that you can bring up to your clients, that's an option that they can get to get the additional panels that will fit over these areas, and they will be insulated. Now, we sent along some stickers to you. The stickers are warning stickers about how it's hot to the touch. I would recommend that you put one on the back, one on this side, and one on the opposite side. I don't think the doors are really necessary because they have the handles, but it's important because when this does get up to temperature, it does get very warm to the touch, and you don't want anybody to burn themselves. So that's it. My recommendation for you for the draperies is if you have a rolling rack with some bars going across it, that you can roll in and drape the draperies over and just roll that in and roll it out, that would work the best. If you need us to build something like that for you, we can certainly do it. We're using rolling racks for the baskets of contents, which you can pick up anywhere. That's nothing that we need to build here. But, you know, something that if you decided you wanted to offer it to your clients as a package with the rolling racks included, we could talk about something like that as well. So that's it for the big Drye Rite XL.